What's going on, guys? And today I'm going to be doing episode 4 of this Elden Ring series, and I know it's been quite a while, and you may be wondering why there is no audio for the video. Well, my answer to that question would be I messed up. So you see, I was supposed to change my audio when I got new headphones, but I didn't, because I just, out of habit of just turning on OBS Studio and recording, I just forgot to. And so I'm going to be doing a voiceover, actually, which I don't normally do this. I normally do live commentary. So I'm actually, in this video, at this point in time, I'm currently doing something for Var's questline. You'll go to the Rose Church, which you'll see in a bit, and you talk to him after beating Godric, and he'll give you, 3 festering blood fingers. And what you have to do with those is you have to invade 3 times, and you can win or lose. I 100% lost, like just right there, I just died. And you have to do that, and when you do that, you'll end up being able to go to the next step of his quest line. And as you can see there in the rather odd cut there, sorry, my clips are a bit weird right now too, you also have to, it's quite a tedious process, but you just go from person to person 3 times, 3 invasions, like this guy right here, where I kill a Lyrith, host of fingers. This is kind of a compilation, so it's just gonna be a bunch of clips in the background, but it is what it is. And so honestly, I just died 3 times. Like, that's really what I do. I just ended up dying 3 times. I didn't care that much about it. And so when you fight these 3 fights, you'll end up eventually, well, you'll probably die if you do this for your first time, because of course everyone's in PvP. The game's been out for a year. You end up going to Rose Church, and when you get to Rose Church, you see Var, which was the guy that called you maidenless at the start. And what you want to do when you see Var is you want to actually talk to him. I don't know why I'm standing still right here, but you want to talk to him, which I'm about to do. And when you talk to him, he's going to give you something called the Lord of Blood's Favor, which you'll see soon. Don't know why I stood there. I think I was just checking something. And when you go and actually talk to him, like right here, you go through his dialogue. I'm kind of speeding through it, and you accept his anointment to be a servant of Moog, and he gives the Lord of Blood's Favor. Then you have to go to the east of Liurnia, and you have to go to the Church of Inhibition, and there you will have to go around the Madness Tower and get past Vike, which is a Madness Spear wielder NPC invader that you have to go around. He'll probably kill you, but as long as you get the Lord of Blood's Favor bloodied by a maiden, like a maiden's corpse, if you get that maiden's corpse blood on the Lord of Blood's Favor, then you'll be perfectly fine. And as you can see, I got hit there, and he did a lot of damage and applied a lot of madness affinity, or a lot of madness buildup. So I used Bloodhound Step to get forward there, like as far away from him as I could, because I was probably going to die here, and I ended up doing so. I ended up dying. But I did get the Bloody Lord of Blood's Favor and the Sacred Tear there, as a matter of fact. So once I did that, it was fine if I died. And that just sent me back to where I could go to actually show that I got the Lord of Blood's Favor covered in blood by a maiden's corpse. So I ended up going back to the Rose Church by using the Boilsprawn Shack Site of Grace. And then I just kind of ride to the Rose Church. This is the shortest route, in my opinion, or one of the shortest routes to the Rose Church, and I'll just let it kind of play out, the ride to it. Because the ride to it's just kind of on horseback, and it's just nothing to really talk about. Just get around that lobster. You don't want to fight him. He's going to be really annoying. Unless you want to get a larval tier to respec and change your stats later on in the game using Renala in the library at the academy, which was from episode 3, I believe. So the last episode. Then don't do what I do and talk. Or don't do what I do and not talk. You just want to talk as soon as you can. I don't know why I was waiting. I think I was having to do something at this point in time. But this is just live. Then again. So I can't really do anything about this as far as time's concerned. So you just kind of want to... Let's see. I think I'm about to talk with him. You kind of want to just, let's see, if I'm going to talk with him, it's going to be a little bit right there. Okay, so talk with him, completed the final trial for the Vars questline. Talk with him again, he's going to, you have to offer your finger to, he'll probably take blood. I think he's pricking blood, because it's like a blood kind of guild kind of thing. And so... what you want to do is he'll give you the ability to go to the blood place using the Pure Blood Knight's medal that he gives you if you talk to him again after offering your finger. And then when you exhaust his dialogue, then you can go and actually use the Pure Blood Knight's medal and go to the audience grounds, just like that. And you'll end up in Mogwin's Palace, or Mogwin Palace. And I'm just gonna save my spot with a Site of Grace that's up here at these stairs. So I'm gonna go ahead and go forward. And when I get up these stairs, there's a Site of Grace right there. So I'm gonna pop that Site of Grace, and then I will go, and you'll want to make your way out of there and just find use that Site of Grace to travel, or just use the map to travel and get to Fort Faroth, and then you'll go follow the path I'm taking to go down this wind tunnel or wind drop. And then I'm gonna change my speed and kind of, you'll follow this path, but I'm gonna go a bit faster here. So I'm gonna double the speed on this clip and just kind of follow this path, go to the Church of the Plague, go to that Site of Grace, grab that Sacred Tear. I'm just checking the map there so I can make sure I'm going where I have to go. Drop down as follows onto that tree, slide down, that we don't take any fall damage. Go to the left of this broken tower, stay kind of to the left of this cliffside. You'll want to make your way to that white, what do you call it? Scarlet Rot tree. There's a troll here I fight. You don't have to fight him, I just did. And there wasn't really a reason for me to, since I already was a high level and there's no reason to fight a troll. It only gives you 6,000 runes when you're at a high level. And because that's not going to do anything for you level-wise. And then you want to make your way over to the, what do you call it? This church that I'm going to head over to. And I think it's called the Church of Dragon Communion. And it's where you can get all the dragon incantations. And so you want to get Site of Grace there and get any dragon incantations that you can from like any dragon hearts that you may have or may get eventually. You can always come back here. Cathedral of Dragon Communion. Okay. And this is where you get them. Is that this little urn or pedestal or pot? And you can get all these, including Rotten Breath, which is really good for the fight that I do with the boss at the end of this video, named Radon, Star Scourge Radon. So I would get the Rotten Breath one and get a Arcane Seal to use it if you really struggle with Star Scourge Radon. And then pop this Site of Grace. And when you do that, you're going to go on horseback. And then you'll end up going to the portal for the castle that Star Scourge Radon's fight will be reached at. So you just kind of want to follow the path I take to go on horseback. And I die, so it kind of cuts. Because I die, I fall damage on the path, so it kind of cuts to when I do it successfully. So it's going to be a bit of a cut right there-ish. Right there. Okay. So when it cuts to the correct path, just follow the path. And kind of just want to drop down on that cliff, but not high enough that you fall and take fall damage and potentially die. You kind of want to find a safe way to do it. And just go down towards the right, towards a bridge and a castle that's over there to the right of the Cathedral of Dragon Communion. If you take that path outside from the Site of Grace, jump over these wooden fence posts. There's Site of Grace there right by the bridge and right by the portal. And take that Site of Grace, and then there's a tower to the left of the Site of Grace, behind it actually, that has a talisman that you can get if you want to make your arrows better. It's called the Arrow Talisman. And so just go up this ladder. There's gonna be two enemies right here. Two Redmane Knights. Just want to kill those guys. Roll in so that you don't fall off or get knocked off. Just kill them. And I took more damage I needed to right there. And just go up the ladder. There'll be, I believe, 3 enemies up here. And when you fight these 3 enemies, you'll be able to open a chest to get the talisman, and you'll be able to go back down. So just fight these 3 guys right here. And you can probably do it in a more efficient way than I did. But it's fine, honestly. And so open the chest to the right here, and then just take the ladders back down, or just kind of jump off, but not from the top one. That's gonna kill you. So slide down the first one, then you can either jump off or roll off or slide down the second ladder. And then obviously you might want to take the Site of Grace like I did to replenish your damage, or I think there's a Site of Grace in the castle before the fight, so that's what I ended up doing. So you'll want to what do you call it, follow this path for the, you'll want to follow this path for the Site of Grace. So path is to the right here, and then you'll find it. Yep, there is the Site of Grace. You want to pop that Site of Grace, rest at it to replenish any health you got from going up in that tower that you lost. And I believe that once I rest at it, I end up changing my build to a Malekith Black Blade Strength / Dex and Faith build. instead of a Dex Arcane dual Uji Katana build like I was originally doing. So I'm now a Strength build. Strength and Faith build, I should say. And just talk to these two NPCs, Blade and Alexander. I don't know if it's Blythe, Blidd, but he pronounces it as if there's a TH at the end of that. I don't know why. So Blythe and Alexander, and when you fight, or not fight, when you talk to Blythe and Alexander, then they'll be usable in the fight, or I think they might be usable in the fight anyway, but like there's a bunch of summons on the ground in Radahn's fight. And so there was a cutscene here, but there's no point in showing it because, what do you call it? It like had no audio because obviously the audio was cut out from this video, so I had to do a voiceover, which is why I'm doing one right now. But anyway, you can look that cutscene up on YouTube. It's a really good cutscene and it hypes up the boss really, really well. And so just follow this path, go down these, or go through that path and go down this ladder. Like these, not these ladders. The ladders were for the tower outside the bridge. That elevator. You want to use that. Once you go down that elevator, then you take this portal after taking this summoning effigy if you really want to. I mean, you shouldn't need to do co-op. I mean, it's not worth it for this boss. It's a fun boss fight to learn to do on your own with, I guess the NPC summons don't count as doing it on your own. But the NPC summons are pretty cool to use because, like, they're just pretty cool to use. And so I summon as much as I can while running up and dodging his super fast arrows. Radahn's great arrows are really good to use if you get his bow, which you can get from boss fights. You can get their weapons. And you can either use his bow or his swords that he'll use in a second. You can get those with his remembrance if you beat him. And once you fight him, you'll be able to use either of those weapons, but you have to beat him twice, so once in New Game and once in New Game Plus to actually get both of his weapons. So I summon as many NPC summons as I can, and then I just engage in fighting him. So just absolutely whack the shit out of him. That's the strategy I decided to go with. And of course, that worked until I decided to use the Ash of War, and then it kind of became a walk in the park. Because, as you'll see in a bit, using the Malekith's Black Blade Ash of War on this guy absolutely tanks his damage, or tanks his health. So it kind of trivializes this boss fight in a way. Even more so than it already is trivialized by using all the summons that are on the field or on the desert. I don't know what you would call this. I guess former battlefield, because it was technically a war, I think, in the lore. So like it was like in the lore there was like a fight or between two enemies, and so like see the Ash of War absolutely destroys his health. Like look at that, if just using it twice takes like almost half of his it takes almost all of his health away, like from half. So 2 Ash of Wars with this thing takes almost half his health. He is weak enough that I could just whack him without an Ash of War like a single time and just kill him, and I think that's exactly what I end up doing if I remember correctly. So I just dodge that, or you should dodge that. I would just dodge backwards instead of forwards like I tried to do, because that doesn't work. And don't get hit by these meteors, so when he pulls you in, just dodge behind him, and then run up to him and just whack him in the wherever he is, because he's kind of on a horse. So kill him. Then you got his Great Rune that's not activated, and you got his Remembrance. And what you want to do in the next video is activate his Great Rune, since it's the best Great Rune. But this is a cutscene. He was apparently holding the stars together, or holding some meteors together, although it is technically the stars. And so the stars actually end up crashing into the ground. And there's a whole area that opens up, but that's for some side quests that aren't important to the main story. and I did it on my first playthrough, but I'm not going to do it for this walkthrough since this is New Game Plus where I already got all the items from that side quest. So, and that gets you a different ending too, but I'm doing the normal ending with the main story only. So I'm not going to that place called Nokron Eternal City or Nakastella Eternal City. It's either Nokron or Nakastella Eternal City, but they're both Eternal Cities. Nokron and Nakastella are both Eternal Cities. And so you talk to Blythe right here after beating Radon, and you go through all of his dialogue. And if you're doing that side quest, then you'll have to talk with him to continue it, because then you'll get trapped in some Evergoal or Everjail. I don't know. I think it's pronounced Everjail, not Evergoal. And then you also want to talk with Alexander here. And when you talk with Alexander, he'll also, if he had started his quest line previously, then this is where you continue it. But I'd never started his quest line, so I'm not going to end up doing that quest line at all. So I'm really not doing any side quests for this playthrough. I'm just doing main story only to get the game completed as efficiently as possible, because I pretty much just want to do only the hardest side bosses and mostly just the main bosses. And so what I end up doing is I use the runes I got from beating Radon and put that into strength to increase my strength to 50. My strength stat goes from 49 to 50 after that. And so I now do 908 damage with Malekith's Black Blade just from normal attacks. And so that is basically where I leave the video off, and I'll see you guys later.